As I was traveling the country, I had veterans saying this mother lost her son to suicide. It could have been 3 years ago, or it could have been 2 weeks ago. So I started visiting the mothers. And last year, just a year ago, I started a Facebook group for mothers of veteran suicide. And today we have 47 mothers. And I told the moms I want to remember their sons and daughters. And do I have their permission? And every single one of their names are on the back of my RV.
Welcome to the Stress Is Gone show. Today is a very special experience for me to share the story of someone that I partnered with a few years ago. She is on such an amazing mission, and she's an amazing person, incredible bravery, compassion, and unconditional love for our veterans, first responders, and their families, and the moms. She is a suicide prevention warrior. And it is my honor to introduce you to Michele Ladd, the founder of National Veteran Resources. Michele, thank you so much for being here today.
You took my words. It's my honor, Brett, to speak with you today.
Thank you. I know that right now you are in a campground, right?
Yes.
And there's probably dogs, lawnmowers, and stuff going on outside. But I really want everyone watching this to see the Hero Mobile. Can you please give us a tour of the outside and talk us through the logos and what we'll be seeing?
Yes. Actually, Brett, I think it'd be better if I go outside now and show it to you so
Great.
People can understand, and then I'll bring you inside.
Perfect.
Okay, so bear with me. We are up on one tire right now, so I'm really high up. So you're going to see me step down. So just give me a minute. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Take
All
your
right.
time.
Okay. Hopefully I don't drop my laptop. Okay. We are. Okay, you wanted me to, let me go around first.
Sure.
And then I'm going to show you. My internet is in the RV.
Okay.
And I'm in, I want to see if you can see this though.
Yes. Could we get another shot of the 22-0? That's what brought me to want to partner with you when I saw how passionate you were about Operation 22-0. It's an amazing image right there.
Let me go back in, Brett, because my internet is in the RV, and sure. I think I defaulted here. Hold on.
Yeah, it sounds better already.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
So what I want to show you is the inside of the RV. And so we invite veterans, first responders, service members, organizations, family members in this RV. And we offer listening. We just listen. We let them share their stories. I've interviewed hundreds of veterans. I give them the PTSD book, the workbook from Brett Cotter, and I talk about Brett, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I just want to kind of show you what it looks like. So when they enter, I light a candle and I play soft meditation music. And then the mother also made this for me, and I have it displayed at all times, and it says, "Do not become a memory. Please ask for help." And for a mom to make that for me, it just, like, I still can't. Moms make me gifts, and I can't even believe it. I'm here to comfort them. This is the living room. So I tell veterans to sit wherever they would like to sit. So a lot of our veterans are, they don't want to sit by a door, or they don't want to sit by a window. So I tell them to sit wherever they are comfortable. Let me set this back up here.
Sure. It's a great environment you created. And because we had the audio trouble on the
Sorry.
outside, are there any insignias or any kind of logos or imagery that that's very important to you that you want to discuss now that we could, hear you nice and clear?
Yes. So as I traveled the country 2 years ago, I met a mother that lost her veteran child to suicide. And I didn't even know what to say to her. I just let her talk and I let her cry. A friend of mine, a veteran friend that I was there to visit, told me about her. So I invited her in the RV and I just let her talk. And then a day later, I met another mother. And then as I was traveling the country, I had veterans saying this mother lost her son to suicide. It could have been 3 years ago, or it could have been 2 weeks ago. So I started visiting the mothers, and organically I would meet their sons' children and wives and fathers and cousins and brothers and sisters. And so my heart it turned from PTSD awareness to suicide prevention. And last year, just a year ago, I started a Facebook group for mothers of veteran suicide. And today we have 47 mothers. And this new RV we just got a few months ago. And I told the moms I want to remember their sons and daughters. And do I have their permission? And so I designed the whole RV myself, the wrap, and I did the veteran suicide ribbon, the purple and teal, and every single one of except for the 2 new moms we just got, their names are on the back of my RV. And so when I'm doing a tour of the RV, I talk about it. The RV is about thanking our heroes for their services. I call them all heroes. They don't want to be called heroes, but I call them heroes. And my tours are called Operation 22 to 0. 22 veterans die by suicide every day. And I'm just trying to do whatever I can think of to do to help them. A lot of them don't want to go to the VA. I'm not anti-VA, but I am, if they slip through the cracks or if there's anything that we can do, we do it. So this RV is about thanking our military and our first responders for their service to our country and our communities, and to try to help save their lives. They don't want to ask for help. We need to smash that stigma now more than ever. We need to reach out as much as we can.
Absolutely. So can you just tell us how long you've been helping veterans and first responders and the moms?
I started this venture 4.5 years ago. And I moved to Georgia with my dog, and I didn't know anybody. I had been running my company that helps veterans and first responders, healthcare providers, and teachers with real estate rebates. And so I've met thousands of heroes over the years. But I actually was bored in Georgia, and I was watching YouTube videos, and I saw this female, Carolyn, bought an RV. She was a successful businesswoman. She reminded me a lot of me as far as just wanting to get out there, and she was living off the land. But I am not a camper. I told you that, Brett. I did not want to think about having to empty my septic tanks.
A dirty job.
I went out, and plus I wasn't strong enough to do all the hoses and the hooking the water up and all that. I watched 1,000 YouTube videos on how to do it, and I went out and bought my first RV, and it was a 24-foot RV. And I didn't even know how to drive the darn thing. I drove it right off the lot, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So for 4 years, I've been on the road. It started out with going to police departments and fire departments and military bases and all over the country. I had traveled something like 30,000 miles. I was breaking down all over the country. So I went out and got a bigger and better RV. And I had met Bobby Henline and Tom McRae, 2 wounded veterans, and they changed my life by their inspirational story and how they never give up hope or faith. So it turned into thanking them personally, to meeting them and raising awareness to post-traumatic stress. And then I started meeting the families that lost their loved ones to suicide. And being a mother of 2 veterans, that's something that I worried about every day. And so meeting the families of suicide one-on-one in this RV, on the phone, and meeting the veterans in crisis, just my passion just got deeper, 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 deeper. And like you said this morning, I live and breathe to love them and to help in any way that Randy and I can.
It's just amazing. So you don't love camping, right?
Not really.
You never were a truck driver, to my knowledge, right?
No, I had a Mercedes.
And then all of a sudden you're watching this YouTube video of this woman, Carolyn, and all of a sudden it motivates you. You buy this RV, you have it wrapped, and now your life has changed. Now you're going from campground to campground, from Walmart parking lots by yourself, which to me is crazy, right?
I know.
Because if it was my daughter, my wife, my mother, I'd be scared to death of
I know.
thinking of that. So can you just tell us, what if there was any ever risky situation you're ever in? I mean, you're out there by yourself. Was there anything? Did you ever feel like your life was ever in danger?
I have no fear. God protects me. And so I have all these followers all over the country before Randy joined me, and they were so worried. But I can only think of one. Well, there were a lot of times where I was broken down and had to stay in weird places. But I was approached by a homeless man in a Walmart parking lot, and it was in the middle of the night. He was pounding on my door and he wanted money. And I was shocked that he would actually come to my door and knock on my door in the middle of the night. I never really felt scared, except for maybe that one time, and I just left. Actually twice I've been approached like that. But what I did was I just packed up and moved to a safer place.
It's beautiful. And just, the courage, the faith, and knowing, to me, it's one thing to have faith, but then it's another thing to have knowing, that God is protecting you, your path is protected. Yeah, I just love that. And take us inside your mission for a moment. Explain to us what happens when you pull into a town with the Hero Mobile and you park somewhere, like let's say at an American Legion parking lot.
So, well, obviously we can't go anywhere without somebody approaching us, whether it's a gas station or we're stopped in a plaza, no matter where we go. The American Legions and the VFWs have been amazing. We work it out ahead of time that we're going to come and visit. A lot of them reach out to their communities. We want organizations to come. We want veterans, first responders. We want family members to come. And so many of these moms say they never saw the signs, and they say they wish they had met me earlier. And so it's instrumental that we get into an American Legion parking lot, we make a difference no matter where we go. We pulled into this campground because sometimes we have to just stop to empty our tanks and stuff and get a one-night break, and veterans come out of their RVs. And so everywhere we go, just having the wrap on the outside makes a difference. But we just shake their hands. We tell them we appreciate them for their services. And I always say, if they know of anybody that's suffering with post-traumatic stress or maybe in a crisis, because a lot of times I can see it in their eyes and they're not going to tell me. So I hand them my brochure and we get calls, and then we have them talk to you.
Right.
It's amazing.
So I love our partnership so much. You mentioned the moms saying that they never saw the signs. Can you share with us, 1 or 2 or 3 signs that a parent could look for?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Anger, excessive drinking, isolation. Okay, so the moms tell me their child's appearance changed, their attitude changed. They started canceling, going to the family parties and doing things one-on-one with their family members. And those are some of the main things that they didn't see. And they'll say, now I'm looking at a picture of him from a year ago to just before he passed. And why didn't I see the signs? Why didn't I see he was reaching out to me in various ways? And now that I can look back on it, now I know, but they didn't know. So my mission is to help families look for the signs and give them the resources in their community, because they didn't. I had one that had a veteran center right up the road, and they didn't even know it was there, and it could have helped save their lives. There's just so many signs. Actually, Brett, I actually show them your PTSD workbook, because you have a whole list of, are you feeling this way? Are you feeling this way? And I share that with the family members for those things to look for.
Great.
And every mom shares different ones.
So now that we're really on the topic of, mothers, can you talk a little bit about the work that you do with moms who have lost, a child to suicide?
Oh my gosh. So it's just a Facebook group, but it's growing and growing. So when a new mom requests to join, there's a whole bunch of things that I do. First of all, I tell them I'm so sorry for their loss. I ask them for their child's birth date and angel date. I ask them for their mailing address. I ask them for their birthdays. I order a name to be put on the back of the RV. I send them, there's a female veteran that reached out to me. She makes prayer blankets. So I have a prayer blanket sent to the mother with their child's name on it. And I give gifts. So it's getting bigger and bigger. So I need to raise more money, but I find vendors that make special gifts, and I have their child's name personalized on it. I promise them I will never, ever forget their child, and I will always remember them, and I will say their name. So anytime I'm at an event, I will actually read. We just did this. We will read the child's name while playing taps and ringing a bell after each name is read. They want their child to be remembered. In the Facebook group, I post positive, encouraging posts. Occasionally, I ask them how they're doing, and they just come out in droves to say they're not doing well. And I love on them. They get my private cell phone number. I just recently had a mom reach out to me. We visit them. We visit more than half of these 47 mothers all over the country, and we meet their families. And so on our way out here on this tour, we're meeting 3 mothers in Massachusetts and in New York. And we're going to pull into a Walmart, and we've invited them, and Randy will leave, and I'll sit with them for as long as they want, 5-10 hours. And I just let them talk, and I ask them if there's anything we can do for them. So I love these moms.
What's the name of the Facebook group?
Mothers of Veteran Suicide.
Okay.
Mothers of Veteran Suicide. Only mothers of veteran suicide are allowed in this group. I lock it down.
So I want everyone to understand, part of how you serve, right? You're driving across the country to meet these moms in person. We were talking before we, went live, and you had mentioned that, a mom called you the other night at 12 midnight, and you're on the phone for as long as it takes. You're on the phone till like 4 a.m. Tell me a little bit about your dedication. And I know you mentioned that you have 2 sons, that are veterans, and that's, a huge part of your motivation for doing this. But tell me where your strength, your compassion, comes from for these moms, because I understand how tough, emotionally gut-wrenching it is to sit with somebody that's letting it all go and expressing some of the toughest feelings we'll probably ever experience in the human experience, right? And just being able to sit there. So where do you feel your strength comes from, your ability to be compassionate comes from?
I think from having a traumatic experience myself in the past, I've
Mhm.
always been a caregiver and someone that always wants to help others. I was always doing fundraisers for like the earthquake in Haiti, and I used to go read the Bible to the elderly. So I've always had that in me. But meeting the first veterans while I was on the road, and if you go to operation22to0.com, I've started to showcase a lot of those interviews. And I'd have a Vietnam veteran sitting next to me, sobbing on video and sharing some of the things that he experienced. And I had young veterans that I've interviewed. I've had female veterans that I've interviewed, and they're all on that website sharing their military sexual trauma. So as I visited them and I let them sit in my RV and just share with me, my heart got deeper and deeper and deeper to try to help more and more and more. And then I met Tom and Bobby, severely wounded veterans, who tell me that they're never going to give up. They struggle, but they're never going to give up. And then I started meeting the moms. So when you have a grieving mother trust you so much that they share that personal thing that they have dealt with, I hold on for dear life and I tell them I love you. I tell them all I love them if there's anything I can do for them. So that has been working with these moms. They know I live to love them, and their stories drive me. I've met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of veterans in my RVs, and they've shared their stories, and it just gotten deeper. But God has given me the strength. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm an empath. So sometimes it does get to me, but I'm driven by the stories. I'm about life and death. I'm trying to help save their lives, but I'm on the other end hearing about the deaths. And that drives me to try to, that's why, Brett, I'm going to just keep telling you, without you, you don't really know this. I couldn't do it because I have your hope and inspiration to give them. I've told all the moms to contact you. I can't do it alone. I'm just one person, and I'm a very sensitive person. I don't cry in front of the moms, but I'll tell you, I can hold that in, and it gets to me sometimes.
That's some of the toughest part of the work that I do too, when you feel it and you want to break down and cry, and but you just want to be strong, for
Yes.
the person that's opening up, and you want to
Yeah.
be that kind of like clear vessel, but these emotions are so palpable, so real, and all of us have these emotions inside. So it's like when you hear somebody share that story, it just naturally comes up in you. And I'm just so honored to have, you share this stuff. I do, not that we're stopping right now, but I want everyone to know how to reach you right now at this point in the interview. So can you just share the website and
Yep.
your email address?
Yeah. So the website is nationalveteranresources.com, and also operation22to0.com is where I showcase all the interviews that I've done. And I also do speaking engagements and things through operation22to0.com. My email is michelle@nationalveteranresources.com, and it's Michelle with one L.
Great. Awesome. Going back to your service, can you talk to us a little bit about, was there ever an experience where you had a veteran and a mom, in the RV at the same time?
Yes, actually, it's happened quite a bit, but most recently, I had a mom. The American Legion put it out there in the newspaper and everything. We were coming, and veterans came to meet us, but I was there to visit one of the moms. But this one veteran came up to me and touched my arm, and he said, "I really need to talk to you." And so I stopped everything I was doing, and I asked the other veterans, because I could tell, I could see it in his eyes that he really was close. Um, and so he shared with me that he's had 2 suicide attempts, but his second one, his daughter, and he doesn't even remember this, but his daughter actually saw him trying to hang himself. And now she's at 12 years old, she's cutting herself. And he said, "I'm so more worried about my daughter than I am about myself right now. Can you help?" And I said, "First of all, you need to help yourself so you can help your daughter." And his daughter is getting counseling. So I brought him in and I introduced him to the mother, and I told her his conversation with me. And for 2 hours, we kicked everybody else out and brought him in the RV, and the candle was lit, and the music was playing. It was dimly lit in there. And she shared her story and she sobbed and she told him it had only been a year since her son passed away. And having a mother that has lost her veteran beloved child to suicide because of his excruciating pain, and talking to a suicidal veteran was instrumental at that moment. After all these years of me being on the road, I said, this is what God's telling me needs to happen. I need to go to the Legions and the VFWs. They need to promote that we're here, and I need to have a mom there if they're willing. But then this is what I did. I told him, you need to talk to Brett Cotter. And he did. He got on the phone. You got on the phone with them. And I reach out to the veterans after I hook them up with all these different resources. And they always tell me that Brett Cotter, with the book, which I love you inscribed to me and National Veteran Resources. I'm so honored by that. They look through all of the categories of how they're feeling. And Brett, you have been instrumental on helping save their lives. It's all I'm going to tell you. They always tell me talking to Brett really made a difference.
It's an honor to be on your path, intertwined in your path, and to be serving in this way. And it's just amazing to be in service in such a needed area. So I know you mentioned some of the moms don't want to open up, right? And I feel there's a ton of veterans out there, first responders, frontline workers. It's so tough to just open up and start talking about these inner feelings, because sometimes we don't even know what we're feeling. It's just like a black hole. It's just twisting inside like a vortex. Mm-hmm. Personally, I've seen transformations from people just opening up after 20 years and talking about an experience. Can you tell me your perspective on the healing that happens just from a person sharing their load, that baggage they've been carrying around for a year or 20 years or even longer?
I can tell you, I've been told so many times by veterans and moms and first responders that just having someone to listen and to talk to, they say that talking does help a lot. And every person I've met has my number. And sometimes I don't answer my phone. I let it go to voicemail, or I'll text them back and say, I can't get to you right now. But if it's a crisis, they know I will. But if they're in crisis, usually I have them talk to you.
And I love being able to catch some of those folks that, are in between the cracks in the system. And there's you with this, RV casting this net. And then when there's unique situations, and then I'm able to, support that net. And, I just love playing that role. So you're on tour soon, right? Can you tell me about the next tour that you're doing?
We're actually on tour right now. Mm-hmm. So when we leave here, we are going to Massachusetts. We're along our route. I look for the moms and veterans along our route if we don't have a planned tour. And I've already found 3 of the mothers that I've not met yet. Actually, one I met, but they haven't seen their child's name on the back of the RV. So they all want to see their child's name on the back of the RV. And they are from California to Massachusetts. I think I have one in Alaska. So we are going to go see every one of them and raise awareness in their community. So our tour right now is we'll be visiting 3 of the mothers and their families. We leave September 6th to head to Indiana, and we're meeting veterans and mothers in Indiana. And then we're heading to Mississippi. One of the mothers is doing an awareness event for us. And then we're going to Louisiana to see 2 mothers there. And we'll be traveling through Florida and Pennsylvania. So we'll be on the road for a month, and we're back in Georgia for about a week. And then we're about 80%. We're not full-time RVers. I don't think I could do this full-time, like full-time, like sell our house and everything. But I have sold my Harley. I have sold my car. I don't even have a car. We had to buy a truck to pull this 5th wheel. So we had to sell all that so we could buy the truck. But it's something, Brett. It's quite an experience.
One of the things that really inspired me, and to me, you're an inspiring person, to say the least. But one of the things that really caught my attention was after we first started talking was that, you're not independently wealthy, right? You're not getting huge grants from the VA, from the government, to go do this. I think one time we were talking and, you were in the middle of a tour and you needed gas money to get to the next stop. Do you remember that? This was going back a few years. And I just want people to know, how far does it get you? How many veterans could you help with a $250 donation or a $500 donation? Does that, get you another night or another weekend in a new town? Like, how does that flush out?
Yeah, so the expenses, people don't understand. So we have 6 tires on the RV. We had budgeted $1,000 for new tires. And keep in mind, Randy and I, nobody gets a paycheck here.
Mhm.
So we budgeted $1,000 from a fundraiser that this veteran couple did for us. And the tire place didn't have the jack big enough for this big rig. So luckily he had some kind of bottle jack. And so they took it to a plaza and they were taking the tires off when a passerby saw them doing that and realized they were getting new tires. So he went over and paid $1,200
Oh my
for these
God.
tires. He had seen the RV before. So these kind of things happen. So God always provides, but we get 26 gallons in our tank. So every 200 miles we have to stop and get diesel, and we can't pull it's a hardship. We have to find a truck stop. We can't go to a regular gas station that has diesel. So we were just trying to get here and we couldn't find a gas station. So we carry jugs of diesel.
God.
But
Oh
so
my God.
our tour we just got back from, we were on tour 3 weeks. We visited 10 mothers in 4 states, and it was $2,000. We stayed in more parking lots than we did campgrounds because we're trying to save that money. And so donations and fundraisers and sponsorships through National Veteran Resources, 100% goes towards the toolboxes that we are creating for post-traumatic stress. It goes towards our gas and our, if we have to get lodging in a campground, because we can hardly ever find any place to empty our tanks. We try to stop at a Love's or a Flying J, but they're few and far between where we travel. And we don't spend a penny. Nothing goes into our own pocket. So it's a labor of love. It truly is.
And from hearing you talk about, carrying jugs to get the diesel, to get it into, the truck that's pulling the RV, staying in parking lots, not having these huge grants, but being graced by God, that passerby that just paid for the tires, $1,200. It just strikes me as such a leap of faith, such, a path, a courageous path, a brave path that God has laid out for you, that you said yes to, and that the universe supports you, and you need it the most. And it's just such a beautiful thing in that you're helping so many who need it so badly. And like I said in the beginning, the middle, and now towards the end, that it is such an honor to partner with you. And I just want to talk really quick. You brought up the book a few times, and I'm so honored to have the book there, to have the little cards there, the Stressed Upper Breathwork cards. And I just want to take a moment just to talk about the retreat at the Omega Institute that I'll be leading for a week. This is, free tuition for veterans, first responders, and frontline workers. And if you're struggling, if you have friends that have died by suicide, if you have, loved ones, just come. If you're struggling with the PTSD from the pandemic, if you're just hurting and struggling and upset with the way your life is going, this is going to be a transformational week-long retreat starting on August 29th, going all the way to Friday, September 3rd. We'll be doing the work day in and day out for 5 days straight that I do with folks that Michele refers me to. So, Michele, this has been an amazing time with you. From when I first met you, I always wanted to interview you, and I'm so glad that we finally got to it. Any final words of encouragement that you have for anyone that's struggling, that's out there?
Brett, you have helped so many. So my words of encouragement are to go on this retreat, meet Brett, meet his team, call him, go on his website. The blogs are awesome. You have the app. I have personally taught so many. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I've done it 1,000 times to myself. So my words of encouragement are, I can listen. So you can reach out to me and I can listen and I can find you resources. But my resource is going to be to call Brett.
I love being one of the many tools that you use on this, divine mission that you're on. And one last time, how can people support you?
So if you want to support us, we have, if you're a business owner, we have sponsorships. If you want to make a $10 donation, we have people doing big fundraisers for us. All you need to do is go to nationalveteranresources.com. We have a donate now button. It's PayPal. It takes credit card. If you're interested in doing a fundraiser, we had a mom do a booze basket. I don't endorse that, but she raised gas money for us.
That's
and
awesome.
and we had a pig roast. Veteran couple did a pig roast for us. There's walks and all kinds of things that can be done. But the hard part is, Brett, and as a nonprofit, I don't ask. I don't like to ask for anything. I do everything myself and figure it out. And we pay our own way a lot of times. And so it's very hard to ask. So if you want to help us, we appreciate it. But I just know that God will provide, like he did with the guy with the tires the other day. I'm still in awe and thanks and gratefulness over that. It's amazing.
It's been an incredible experience learning more about you, hearing your story, and thank you so much for trusting me to come on and just share, just like what you do for so many people, giving them a voice. I'm so happy that now forever people will be able to know in depth what you do, what your work is about, how you do it, and just the courage, the bravery, and the leap of faith that you've taken to walk this path, and that you don't even like camping. Not
like you.
Right. Like me, I do like camping. So thank you again so much, Michele. It's been just eye-opening. I love the work you do, and I'm always going to support you any way that I can. It's an honor, a true honor, to be part of your mission. So thank you again so much.
It's my honor, and I thank you, and many blessings on your journey. And thank you for helping my heroes and everybody that I come in contact with.
Awesome. And one last time, what's the email address and website?
Just go to the website, nationalveteranresources.com. And also, I do all my own social media on all the platforms. So follow us on Facebook. I mean, if you want to see what we're doing, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, follow me on National Veteran Resources, Facebook. Great. And LinkedIn. That's where you and I met. You saw me on LinkedIn.
That's right.
So follow us on those forums and you'll see what we're doing, who we're helping, how we post positive things, how we pray for our heroes and all that we do.
Right.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you.
God bless. Stay safe. And I'll be in touch soon. Bye, Michele.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.